What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to reality. Guys, today we have a real talk. Now, I know yesterday I said that we were going to have CTI today, but DJ and Alex decided that they were going to have their baby. So it just totally f***ed up our whole schedule. And he's probably going to get fired, but it's all good because I'm going to carry the water like I always do. And I'm going to give you a real talk today. As I'm recording this, it is September 1st, okay? And I've seen a lot of people online talking about how, oh my God, it's September 1st, or, oh, I can't believe it's September 1st. And they've wasted their whole year, okay? And that is something that really I'm confused by, because the reality is that people come along every single year. They say they're going to make these changes. They say they're going to do these things. They say they're going to become all these things that they really want to become, and they never, ever do it, okay? And I want to talk to the young people about this real quick, because a lot of you guys who are older, you're going to do this your whole life. You're going to do this from now until you're in the hole, all right? And I can't fix some of you guys. But what I can do is I can tell the young people out here the truth of what it's going to take to succeed. And today, I have just 5 little points I want to make to you guys, for you young guys, that will help you be productive so you don't become one of these people who waste year after year after year saying tomorrow and, ends up wasting their entire life, which happens all the time, okay? I used to think, just like you, that someone was going to come down from the heavens and give me permission. I used to think that someone who was more successful than me was going to come to me and say, Andy, I really believe you have what it takes. Let me take you under my wing and show you how to do this. I believed that success was some sort of club that you got invited into, but it's not. Okay, nobody is going to give you the opportunity. Nobody is going to open the door. You are going to have to break it the f*** down. That is what you have to understand, okay? This idea of waiting, this idea of just hoping that the world works with everything that we want and eventually time will produce this life that we actually want is bullshit. You have to make it happen on your own. And I'm speaking to the young people out here. I am speaking to those people who think they have unlimited time, who think they have a long life. Look, dude, I remember being 22 like it was yesterday. And I know that sounds like some old man shit, but the truth of the matter is it goes fast and you don't have as much time as you think. You just don't, okay? So the first point is this. Life doesn't give a f*** how young you are. It doesn't care how experienced you are. It doesn't care where you're at. It doesn't care where you came from. None of the shit matters, okay? And you have to understand, no matter what you've been told, no matter what you've been taught, the world does not reward mediocre performance, okay? It does not hand out participation trophies. No matter how special your teacher said you were, no matter how special your parents say you might be, the world doesn't give a shit, all right? It doesn't care if you don't know anything. It doesn't care if you're trying to figure it out. It doesn't take it easy on you because you're inexperienced, okay? The clock is ticking no matter what, and you have to understand that when you are young, you have this ridiculous opportunity to get ahead because typically you don't have the same amount of commitments, you don't have the same amount of responsibilities, And unfortunately, we have these people online telling these young people, hey, man, you can use your 20s to do whatever you want. Sure, you can, except then your 30s are going to be a hustle show that you're going to hate because you're going to have to put 20 years of work into 10 to get where you are. And then most people quit and never become what it is they want to become. So you have to understand that just because you're 20 years old, just because you're 25, does not give you the excuse to coast. You should be using this time to be productive and to learn and to try and figure out legitimately what it is you're trying to do. That doesn't mean I'm going to go to Ibiza 4 times a year and f*** off. What it means is you're going to think about things, you're going to analyze things, you're going to take actions, you're going to fail, you're going to learn, you're going to get better, and you're going to build a skill set when you're still young. There is no bigger advantage to you than that. Okay? I am very, very fortunate that during my 20s, I took my shit relatively serious. I could have went way harder. I could have tried a lot harder. I could have been dedicated. But at the end of the day, I was doing something, and that something got me here. And according to a lot of you, you want to be a version of that. And I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot do that by saying, oh, I got time. Oh, I got time. Oh, you know what? I'm only 20. I got time. No, you don't. Not if you got big dreams. Not if you got legendary aspirations. Okay, and you don't want to be one of these douchebags that leases a Huracan for 144 months and think you made it. I'm talking about real success. I'm talking about 360 success. I'm talking about building the life that you are so proud of that you can't be shaken from who the you are. Okay, life doesn't care if you're young. That's the first point. Okay, the second point I want you to understand is this. Talent is not enough, okay? You could be smart, you could be intelligent, you could be creative, you could have all the ideas in the world, you could be full of potential, and nobody gives a until you actually build something real, okay? Action always beats potential every single time. Hard workers will beat talented people that don't work. We've all heard the saying. We've all heard it, right? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. Well, most of the talent out there doesn't work, okay? And by the way, you probably don't have that much talent. And the good news is you don't need it. All you need to do is show up every day, refuse to quit, and then be smart enough to learn from your mistakes and hopefully learn from the mistakes of the people you compete with. And if you can do those things and apply those lessons moving forward and never allow yourself to quit because you built yourself into a machine of discipline and grit and fortitude and endurance, you can't be stopped. You cannot be stopped. Okay? So don't get upset that you don't have all the talent. Don't get upset that you got to struggle. Every out there that ever became what it is that you might admire came from struggle, came from hardship. They did not have it easy like you think they did, like society says they did. Most of the most successful people in the world had to fight every step, which is why they are who they are. So quit thinking because it's hard for you, you got screwed over. You didn't. You got blessed with an opportunity to become great. Okay, point number 3. Everyone starts ugly. All of them. Okay, nobody knows what they're doing in the beginning. We all look stupid. We're all afraid of getting laughed at. And guess what? We do. But what's worse, getting laughed at or being a loser your entire life? I'll tell you this, I got laughed at the entire time I've been doing this. I get laughed at now. You see the comments. You see what people say. I do not give a if someone laughs at me, bro. Because you know what? When I walk the out of my house, I get in a Bugatti or another Bugatti or whatever the fuck else I want, and I go to my place of business, which I love, and build amazing shit with people I love and create the ultimate life that I've always dreamed about creating, not just for me, but for everyone around me. So I don't give two shits who laughs at it. I don't care. And you shouldn't either. Losers laugh, winners build. That's the reality. So when we think about how it's going to be along the way, you cannot expect yourself to be great at something when you haven't put in the time or the reps or the energy. It's not going to happen. And I want you to think about this. How arrogant are you to think that you're going to be great at something from the start when all the people you admire had to struggle for years and years and years to get to that point? Do you not understand how arrogant that sounds? You're telling me you're better than all those people? You have more talent than all those people? You get to skip the struggle because of why? Please explain it to me. Because it's bullshit. We all start ugly. We all get our asses kicked. We all get laughed at. We all get made fun of. It's part of the process, and you can't avoid it. Point number 4, you have to stop asking advice from people who haven't done what it is you want to do. If your mom or your dad or your uncle or your aunt or your teachers or anyone hasn't done what it is you want to do, you shouldn't listen to them about how to do it because they don't know. And it is no different for all these knuckleheads on the internet selling you how to do this and how to do that. Just because they might be in a better spot or appear to be in a better spot than you right now does not mean that they are actually successful. When you start out in the game, it is easy to look at anybody who appears to have more things going on than you and attribute that to them knowing what they're doing. That is not true. Okay? We live in this world of smoke and mirrors, and people have figured out how to appear to be successful without actually being successful. So it's very simple. You have to vet where you're taking your lessons from. If you don't do that, you will end up listening to someone who could potentially cost you everything. And that happens over and over again for some people because they simply can't vet their source. They can't figure out that just because someone loves them doesn't mean they know how to win. They can't figure out that just because someone has a hurricane on the internet that these people know how to build a business. Okay? You have to look beneath the surface. What have they done? What have they built? What is their business? Can I shop there? Do they employ people? What's the product like? What's the customer experience like? We could go on and on and on and on. Is this actually real or is this smoke and mirrors? Have they built any real shit or do they just sell courses on how to build real shit? These are things that matter. These are things that will cost you time and energy and effort over and over and over again. And if you listen to too many of them, it will crush you. So you have to understand, if they haven't done it, you shouldn't listen to them. That doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you have to be mean. It doesn't mean you got to tell your parents to eat shit. What it means very simply is put some earplugs in when they start telling you how to do shit and understand if they knew how to do it, they would have done it themselves. Okay? And point number 5, nobody is coming. Motivation fades. Guidance is rare, and it's often wrong. Nobody's going to come wake you up and shake you out of bed and say, here's your critical task that you need to do today to become the version of yourself 10 years from now that you ultimately want to become. Nobody's going to check up on you. Nobody's going to hold your hand. Nobody's going to pull you through the fire. Nobody. Most of these people haven't even been through it themselves. You're going to have to walk alone a lot of times. You're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to understand for this big goal that you're trying to create, it's going to have a price. That price is going to look different for everybody. For some people, they're going to move on from their friends or their girlfriends and boyfriends, or maybe even a wife and husband. Who knows? But winning is hard, and these things cost in real life. But you have to understand, it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what people say to you. It doesn't matter if they laugh at you. It doesn't matter if you're tired, if you're sore, if you're beat up. You're going to be all those things, and all those things are going to happen. You are going to have to build yourself into someone who can execute regardless. And when you become that version of you who can do what needs to be done, regardless of what's going on in their life, regardless if they're tired, regardless if they're sore, regardless if their husband yells at them or their wife yells at them, regardless if they have all the stress in the world bearing down onto their head, they still get up and execute. They still move forward, no matter what. And if you can build yourself into someone who can behave that way, there is not a thing on this planet that can stop you. So you have to understand, you have a choice. You can be like everybody else. You can live the life they live. You can listen to them. You can bullshit with them. You can drink your life away and your life away. Or you can get real serious right now. And you can listen to someone who's actually done a lot of the things that you want to do. And you could start today, right now, real ugly, and start building the life that you actually want.